just like that, the intro's over. I've been wondering if I should do a 10-minute intro just to give myself a little more time. Hello and welcome to BOBSTREAM number... not 500 yet. Hello Carol, hello anyone else in the chat, on the tubes or the twitches. I'm just having my tea. Another chill day today. I've been meaning to do another stream where I actually play a... hello, Seer. I've been meaning to do another stream where I actually play a video game. Did you know you could do this? Bob time. I've been wanting to start on, sorry, cool down. I've been wanting to, start recording the game for the next big video. If you've been around in the right places, you know what that is. If not, then it's a secret. But I literally have not been able to get it run properly on anything, on any of my virtual machines or real machines. So there's some configuration that is needed there. Hours and hours of work to get some crappy old game from the 90s running. So I can do a 2-hour video on it. I hope not. I hope it'll be a bit of a shorter video. It's not worth it's a secret. It's a secret what I'm trying to run. Patron access only. Exclusive access. If that's surprise. A surprise. It's literally one of these games here. It's one of these games. It's not Helicops, because I already know how to run that. And it's not X-Files game either, because I've already done videos on those. But yeah, not in Windows 98 on PCM, not in any of the other virtual machine things. I was this close on two virtual machines. On one of them, it ran perfectly, except the sound was delayed by like a full second. And on the other one, it ran perfectly, including sound, except dialogue options did not show up for some reason. Everything else showed up. The dialogue options did not. I have a feeling that's the one that I gotta tweak somehow. But that's in... I don't know if that's in Windows XP or 98, but it's pretty bad. Sometimes I wonder why are there not more videos on these games, and it's because they're literally impossible to run unless you're extremely lucky. I had a little bit with the first Hard Truck game where I was able to get it to run on one configuration and I forgot what it was. So I wasn't even able to tell anybody, oh, you just need to do this. Hamlet was a little bit of trouble too, but at least like the collection chamber has an installable version of Hamlet that runs on Windows 95 and DOSBox or whatever, however they do it. So today is the day that I'm getting tea burps. We finished the jam. We got jammed. We jammed it up. 11 entries, including my own, which is a pretty nice number. 10, nice round number. And a little easier to sort through than hundreds. So I want to just have a nice little view of them, give them their due on video, because people worked hard on them, and they're all wonderful. They're all awesome. So if you don't know, this is a little forum run entirely by me. It goes by the name of the underscore. Not to be confused with my Discord, which goes by the name of the underscore. And it's a really nice place, and it's ad-free, tracking cookie-free, bigotry-free. It's a place to hang out, express yourself, chill. We've got forum signatures, we've got animated GIFs, even as avatars if you hang around long enough and get the privilege. We've got a new or updated topic. What's this? Quilt-like. It is quilt-like. Adrian. We're gonna take a look at the results, because they're super cool. So again, this was originally a an assignment I had in art school many like more than 1 decade ago. This is kind of a fucked up thing to say. And I had a lot of trouble with it then. I found it a little easier now because I care less. I understand that there were people who still had a little bit of difficulty with it, which is fine. Not for everybody. Sometimes you don't get the mind space, you know, you don't have the time, the ability to really get in there. Sometimes you get inspiration. The next jam will be in January, I think. I'll find a nice week somewhere in the middle. And I don't know what that's going to be yet. I have quite a long list of potential things that it could be. This was kind of off the cuff, and I felt it was appropriate for the first jam. Might be interactive, might be not, might be visual, might be writing, might be make a song, who knows. It's kind of up to my whim, because of course as the admin I am God, which is a perfectly fine and normal thing to be on the internet. Has never gone to anyone's head to be a forum administrator. They're widely respected throughout the world for always being sensible and normal. But I'm gonna go through them slowly. And then after that we're going back to Aruba. Because I have stuff to do on Aruba. We have things we need to talk about. Oh, that's part of the things. So, by user, RPWTF was the first entry, and I really... This was submitted pretty early on in the jam. And it solidified for me, okay, people get it. Because this is conceptually, I feel like, okay, you can go in time, right? Because this is a medium, the written word. And this is a medium, sound. This is a medium, tape. And you kind of go like video, you know? You kind of going in time, but you're also going through medium. Does it work in all directions? I don't know, and I don't care. But here too, here you have input. You know? You have input, you have your BlackBerry, you have your weird split keyboard, which I also have a weird split keyboard. And then you have your drawing tablet, which I also have a drawing tablet. But you also have, like, I don't know, listening, play, work. You have 80s, 90s, 2000s. I really like that. You have consumption to creation, right? This is an MTV tape, so this is, you can imagine a tape that is bought, not recorded. But a CDR is something you make yourself. And then, obviously, a drawing tablet you use to make things. Here, too, you have writing in different forms. I really like it. It was a great hit. And then Meow got us something that's a little bit more narrative, explicitly narrative. And I like too, because hey Juge, I made a Bitsy game once about what "today is the day" means to me as a phrase. And there too, I had like 2 characters, and narratively, 2 characters, waiting for Godot. Sometimes that's all you need to convey certain things. And here too, you see time passing, you see communication, you see a relationship that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. I like to read this one in reverse because it shows the guy's upset and then a friend joins him and they have a nice time. Exactly! It works! It works both ways. But that's what I love about it. It works in all the directions. It really works in all the directions. This one's... They're all fantastic. I'm not grading them. I'm not grading them or rating them. They're all 10 out of 10s. But this one really resonates with me personally, I think. Because, like I said, part of how you make this thing, this grid, is it can work as a whole, where you kind of look at everything at the same time. You kind of blur your eyes and you're kind of seeing one image with different aspects to it. But when you use characters like this, I think it works really well. That's how I describe it too, as like minimalist interactive narrative or non-linear narrative. Because you see multiple relationships here at the same time. You see multiple time periods at the same time. And I like that there's a certain symmetry to it. Like here, these 2 top corners are the 2 characters from behind. The left and right here are the 2 characters' side profile. And then the bottom row is just the blue character, who is obviously like the central character. And then the middle column is also the blue character in close-up. And you can kind of tell how that helps layer everything together and weave it together in a way. Sometimes you're just sitting and you say nothing and the sun rises. Or it sets and you say nothing and then it's dark. That just happens sometimes. Sometimes somebody says something to you and you go, what? I like it too that it's not generic. Generic isn't the right word at all. It's common enough that you can read it in more than just 3 panels, because you can read like this. You can read a relationship kind of going wrong like this. It's very cool. I really like it. Then Capacitor comes with like very artistic. My eye is this one here. My eye is drawn to so many things at the same time. The dithering is nice as a use of lighting. The buildings are nice. I don't quite know what is going on, but I know that something is going on, and I'm very curious about how the borders, how they relate to things. This feels like you could without changing anything, you could make it into some kind of puzzle, some kind of interactive puzzle. Not that there's a right way, but that there's maybe a sequence in there that is like a fancy keypad, a narrative keypad. But I think it's great. It's very distinctive. Again, the use of borders is it draws your eye, right? What's this yellow stuff? Why is that pointing here? I could look at this for quite a while. Some of these, most of these, all of these are like print worthy as far as I'm concerned. Like, if you've made one of these, put it on your whatever your store is and sell prints of them. So they're super cool. Like, what is this? This border is also different. Fascinating. Fascinating. I love it. And then, you know, me. I keep saying this, but I had a wonderful time making this. I wanted to make it personal. You know, I wanted to make it real. I wanted to make it me. One thing I wanted to get away from, which I feel like other people have done more successfully, is when I did this assignment in art school, I was very literal about it, and I wanted to be less literal and less like, you know, this story is exactly this. I wanted to be a little bit more kind of thinking about flow of emotions and how emotions can sometimes exist at the same time. All right, because here I'm happy, here I'm less happy, and then here I'm both at the same time. And of course, there's like a bit of a pop art style to it that I think works really well. And I'm trying to be more proud of how I look and more content with myself. So putting myself into my art is one way of doing that. And obviously, I like this enough that it's my new profile pic, which is a pretty big deal because I haven't changed my profile pic in more than a decade, that I've been using everywhere. And that one is me wearing a mask, and this is just my face. You know, and because it's like pixel art and stuff, it looks different depending on what size it is. But so be it. It's me. Okay, Pluto went interactive, went all out, made it a game. Was there music in here? Don't remember if there was sound. I think there was sound. And this is super cool. Went above and beyond, made it a full-on interactive thing. And it's kind of, what I like about this is it's not just interactive, but it's not static either. It's not just this is the one story I'm telling. It is a bit of a playground for stories. Because you're just like a little guy, and there's keys, and you can zoom in. And the music even gets louder then, but you don't hear the music because the desktop audio isn't on. Here's the music. What was the other thing? Reset. And you can sit. Hey, Grace. Hi, Grace. Can you say hello first? Random. Okay, there's a little kitty cat key. So cool. I want to go to the kitty cat. Grace, you have a point. And I've thought about this. Hold on. Let me just play through this little game first. Said hi to the kitty. We have 2 doors. Little spy versus spy, yeah. Yeah, that's what my eyes do when I see the sky also. Oh, I think I might be stuck. It's a little glitchy. The description warned that stuff might break. Reload scene. I want at least one of each. I still want to sit on the chair. Whoa, hello. That's supposed to be an ending. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that's super cool. Also, the little guy is apparently named Bob. I could stay here forever also feels like an ending. This is cool. Music. And my full face. So Grace.
Creation.
Davilex and Shakespeare Video had performance issues. They both took too long to get going.
Creation.
Yes?
Creation.
I have thought about this.
Creation.
The thing is, I'm making a long video.
Creation.
I'm
Creation. 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 Creation.
You know, I want to give people some time. They'll double music. There we go. To get into it. You know, you're clicking on a video that's 45 to an hour and a half, 45 to 90 minutes long. I'm okay with it taking too long to get going. But also, the Desperate Housewives video... Hey, Longy. The Desperate Housewives video, which is sitting at a bit under 90,000 views, also takes really long to get going. The Rig and Roll video, which... The Rig and Roll video also starts with a trailer that takes a while to get going. That is sitting at like just under 30,000 views. The thing is, I don't think the problem is the video. And I don't mean to say that I can't do things better or think about how I'm doing things, but I think, especially with Hamlet, I think YouTube sent it to the wrong kind of audience. Blaming the algorithm, baby. With the Amsterdam video, one thing I was surprised about was I thought the intro would be better performing because I was pretty happy with that intro. Same thing with Hamlet, actually. Like, artistically, I'm super proud of those intros. But the Amsterdam intro has a very catchy song. The Rig and Roll intro, for some reason, has a higher than 100% view rate. So the thing that YouTube says is like, yeah, by 30 seconds, this percent of the audience is still watching. Usually for me, that hovers between 60 to 65%. And on the Rig and Roll video, that's like 110%, which means people have rewatched it over and over again. And I've been trying to recapture that magic. I haven't been able to. And here's the annoying thing about YouTube. I have lots of theories too. And they're all right and they're all wrong. Because I could do the exact same thing and get a hit, and I could do something completely different and be completely off. You know, I've done things where I've considered very carefully how this would affect the performance of a video, and it's done nothing. And I've done things where I just kind of wung it. I just kind of did whatever, and it was a hit. And I don't know what works and what doesn't. So in the end, I'm just like, well, fuck it then. I'm just gonna do what I think I like. Like the Hamlet thumbnail, which I thought would be like, okay, look, you got Kenneth Branagh, and you've got, you know, he's holding the skull. That's like the classic Hamlet thing, right? Hamlet holding Yorick's skull. That's an image that I thought would really resonate with people. That is my worst performing thumbnail of all time. Which is why now I've changed it to something a little different, but it's probably far, far too late. But maybe at some point the algorithm picks it up again and whatever. And then for this fucking Phoenix Games video, you know, I just took a screenshot of an anime character flipping the bird. And that still isn't doing great. Like, in terms of thumbnail click-through rate, quite frankly, that's doing like 4%. I'm lucky if I hit 5-6% with thumbnails. So that to me just indicates YouTube has a poor understanding of what kind of audience would like this kind of content. But like, that's the thing too about thumbnails, is people say, oh, do this, do that. But I've seen thumbnails that don't follow any of the rules be great, and I've seen small channels with fantastic thumbnails that I'm like, oh yeah, of course that'll be a hit, and then you see it gets 300 views. So in the end, I don't know. I'm just making shit and putting it out there. I am working on a new video right now. A hint. It involves these things. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping. Obviously, I'm hoping it's a hit and whatever. Really, what I'm hoping for is it gets me right over the edge, and it gets me 5,000 subscribers before the year's over. Because that would look nice. I would be happy with that. If it gets 1 million views, that'd be cool too. But yeah, I do think about these things, Grace, and I do appreciate the thoughts too. Because I have to look at YouTube as both a creator and a consumer. But in the end, it feels... And I've heard the biggest YouTubers complain about this. It feels random, no matter what you do. And that is why, you know, don't trust platforms. Don't rely on platforms. That's why I have a Patreon. That's why I'm doing the forums and whatever. And, you know, building communities outside of those platforms with stuff that's in my control. You know, if I had more time, for it, if I had like a day a week, I'd have a newsletter. Cause that shit still, people still like that. Like, the forum is a hit because people still want this kind of like, not old internet. I'm not trying to appeal to nostalgia. I'm just saying there's certain things about the past that were better, and we can still do those things. You know, we don't have to do everything the new way. Through third online places, yeah. Where you're actually interacting with people, and you know that it's people. And I think especially with the AI stuff, having somewhere where you know that it's people, whether that's like a Twitch stream, right? Because you know I'm not AI. Because look, 10 fingers. Or whatever, a forum and community and doing these things that AI can't do shit because LLMs are fucking stupid, and anyone who falls for them is wanting something from life that they're not getting, and they're not gonna get it from LLMs either. Anyway, back to Le Gem. Lady Data comes to us with alchemy symbols, and again, this is kind of similar to what I did, where it's, I mean, I suppose if you know, these are like zodiac signs, right? Or alchemical symbols. If you know what these mean, then there could be something interesting there. There's something interesting here regardless, because what I like is that they're like bloody, and that they have golden frames. But I feel like this is another one that works really well as a general impression, as opposed to a strict kind of like personal narrative. I still want to try Cyberpunk at some point, but more for like inhabiting the world. I don't give a shit about the story. I just kind of like the idea of a first-person open world first-person open world city. Grace, I have just finished Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the pirate one set in the Caribbean. Although Aruba isn't in it because it's like just a slice of the northern Caribbean.
Celebration. Grace Lascal has gifted a BOBSTREAM subscription to Laundry Fun.
Thank you, Grace. Enjoy, Laundry. No worry about Harry Potter anymore. And you know, it's been a while since I played an Assassin's Creed. The last one I played was Origins, I think, which was pretty good. Egypt, ancient Egypt. Not that ancient. Roman Egypt, not, you know, ancient Egypt. But it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool environment. It was very pretty. And I remember that was the one where they just kind of copied The Witcher for a lot of their stuff, and it worked. But one thing about Assassin's Creed games in general, and I'm pretty sure it's still like that, is they have these big open worlds, but they're not like a GTA or a Witcher, a Red Dead, or a Cyberpunk, I guess. I don't know. There's more than 2 developers, Bob. But you have open worlds that are like, at least notionally, have a semblance of being a living, breathing world. Obviously, it's an illusion, and depending on the game, it gets punctured more easily by one than the other. Like Red Dead has an inhuman amount of detail in it. GTA is a little less so, but GTA, if you can, people roleplay in it. You can kind of walk around the street and pretend to be a person or follow the traffic laws or whatever. Assassin's Creed doesn't feel like that at all. It doesn't feel like a real place anywhere. You never feel like you can... Like, one, you're always dressed up in a weird costume. Right? You're supposed to be like an assassin, someone who's surreptitious, kind of like hiding and whatever. You're hooded, but you're always walking around in a weird costume for some reason. Sometimes the games have a reason for this, but it's still strange. But like, you got the weird free running. There's like a sense of scale to it that is not. It's not conducive to feeling like you're inhabiting that world in any meaningful way. Everything feels like you have a giant city. Even in Black Flag, you have like Havana. Pretty large. But every building looks the same, even though they're not. And in the end, your radar is full of like, pick this up, open this chest, climb this tower. Here are the guards. It's so weird to have an open world that's not really a world. It's just a big level. And later, once I'm done with this jam stuff, it's not even a museum. The scale, if everything feels so small, everything feels like it's just a 3-dimensional spreadsheet. But like I'm gonna be talking about the Aruba game and some thoughts I've had after this. And again, that's where I'm going for small scale but high detail. And the scale isn't that small, so you still feel like if you're taking a drive, you're taking a drive, and every rock you see is like a landmark of some sort, And that's the complete like, I enjoyed Black Flag well enough. It's not... I played maybe 4 Assassin's Creed. My favorite is still 2. Partially because, like, that's not too much, like, all this Ubisoft bullshit, but also because I was doing my art history minor while I was playing it, so it was cool to see some of these churches and stuff up close while I was learning about them, and I had to memorize them for exams and stuff. And Origins was cool too, I guess. But it's not a real world. It's so strange. Anyway, Alchemy, very good. Thank you, Lady Data. This one's very evocative, I find. This one's very, like, it stirs something within me. It scares me a little, but also makes me a little curious. Then, our good friend Fluff Weasel. Cat in boxes, and I love this. I think technically, and this doesn't matter, because it's not the only one that breaks the rules, but I think technically this is not 8 colors, because it's using, like, you can see the colors kind of fading into each other. Don't care. Don't care. This is lovely and clever and fun. And I can totally see how, and this is again one that's a little more narrative, because you have characters. You have a cat here, here, and here. And whoever this guy is. But it shows kind of like, I'm inclined to read this not left to right and up and down. Which I think is also kind of an accomplishment. Because if you're used to reading things left and right, up and down, then you will try to read an image like this left and right, up and down. But like, I want to start here. Cat goes into the box, not cat comes out of the box. That to me feels more logical, you know? Very cool. And cute colors. I like it. Then Nika has one with words, and I was hoping people would use words, because one of the thoughts I had for my own entry would have been something with writing. Because you can play around with that too, with sentence structure and you know, orientation and stuff like that. And here too, like, good use of words, I think. But I also like the visuals. I like the griminess. Is it like tiles? Bathroom tiles? You know? Is it bathroom graffiti? Very cool. And I like the yellow and the pink. Very nice, bright color combinations. You know, they're really kind of... They tickle the back of my eyeballs in a very pleasant way. You forgot is! I forget is all the time. Yeah. Interesting too. Again, because English, you're used to reading it left, right, up, and down. You start with the I. And I don't know whether Nika did that consciously or that just kind of happened as it came out of the creative process. But that's one of those things that makes sense, right? Yeah, I only realized it right now that it kind of looks like a bathroom tile and it kind of looks like graffiti. But you could do this on a real bathroom, you know? You could make one of these. Cal does things, did something, forgot about the resolution constraint, but I think it works out. Again, very evocative. Again, doing what I did, which is taking photographs and just crushing them with colors. I feel like there's something very personal going on here, but also clearly political. Which is very cool. Again, all of these, obviously all of these are artworks. But all of these are like, you could put them on a t-shirt, you know? You could put single panels on a t-shirt. You could put all of them on a t-shirt. They're all very cool. An ACAB. But, yes. This one, too, by Dano? Dano. I almost have no words. One, the lack of a grid. The grid being only implied by color and composition. I had thought about not using a grid myself for the faces, but I thought the division there makes sense, you know. And you see some of these others too, where the tiles are just different colors. Here, it's just, and then the pixel art is great, and the use of color is great, and the general composition, because you have this yellow, green, red, blue thing, and then that is reflected here. You've got this whole cosmology thing going. This is another excellent candidate for a shirt. It's beautiful, and also works really well as a... Sorry, I keep hitting the microphone. Works really well as a single image that you can just zoom in on. And the single panels are fascinating. The sun, the moon, the earth, crystals, the sky, little guys. Like this is like, you know, a Zelda glyph, hieroglyph, you know, carving inside a temple type thing. Beautiful. Fantastic. And look at this! What's this? It's a little fish guy with legs. I'm glad we could get that SSL issue sorted so you could still submit this. I love this. Does this have narrative significance that would be like does this work outside of its own context? What am I trying to say? Is there more context to this, or did you just draw some of your fun fish guys? You phoned it in, but you had fun making it, which is what really matters in the end. Agreed. It's fun to look at, I will say. It's fun to look at. There's still something there, though. You phoned it in, supposedly, but I think... you know, that's the fun part of a structure like this, is you want to derive meaning from it. You know, the human brain sees a set of icons and wants to relate them to each other in some way, even if they lack context. It's great. I especially like the cute fish. And I enjoy the colors. And then Adrian Dittrich, this is unfinished because apparently it was supposed to be fully interactive. But I kept it anyway, or I added it anyway because I appreciate the effort. You know, there's still a lot of effort and thought that went into this, even if it's not finished. But two, I think it still works because you still have this terrain, right? You got sky caves, a city, internal castle, beach, forest, cave. Then yeah, you question, well, what else would you be? But like, the two things I like. One, a complete black square is still evocative. There's still something interesting about it. And two, this square is also completely black, except the little character sprite. And I think having the character sprite in that makes this one unique to the other black one. So you do have 9 unique tiles, and it's still, and it has like an NES color palette, you know, and it's still like, if Adrian wants to finish this and make it fully interactive, I definitely say go for it. But I think I'm still accepting it as a submission because I still think it works. I still think it tells us a story. It's a geography, you know. It's a place. It looks like a unified place, even with the black tiles. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of my days playing around with RPG Maker 2000 and trying to lay out little towns and how they relate to the world and stuff. So I like it, and I believe that's it. We haven't had any other submissions. No. I'm leaving the submissions open. I said for like 3 days or whatever. There might be people who are inspired, who still want to give it a go. You know, I've definitely found it an interesting creative challenge. I might do it again at some point in the future. There's no reason why we can't repeat jam prompts. I might just mess with the oh, this is the wrong one. Hold on. I just might mess with the constraints a little bit, you know. But this was a lot of fun. I'm glad other people had a good time. I'm beyond grateful that people participated and shared. And two, you know, constantly impressed by people's talents. For the next jam, that'll be somewhere in January, because I'm trying to do these like every 2 months to not like overload or whatever. But we'll see how that goes. You know, my fear was nobody would submit anything, or I would get hundreds of submissions. Now, I'm not going to complain about hundreds of submissions, because I'd like the forum to be popular, but a 10 plus my own. Great amount. Look, it took me 45 minutes to just talk about them. You know, and of course, if you made one, share it wherever you go. It's your art that you made, that you put thought into. You can be proud of it. But print it out and put it in a lockbox. Whatever you want to do. I'm gonna save them all to my my hard disks too. What would be cool is, you know, say 6 months from now, we've had 3 or 4 of these jams. Can have a little archive thread where people can go and look through everything that's happened. Yeah. That was the underscore jam #1 triple triptych. If people do submit stuff, I will add it to this post. It'll stay pinned for a while. And the main jam thread at some point at the end of this week will get locked. Just as a form of archiving and all that stuff, and so that the main discussion can be in the results thread. And then and that's that. Check. Now what do I do with my life? I say every time I accomplish something or finish something. I don't know. We're going to Aruba. So I have done multiple things since we last saw each other. I need to actually open up the folder. Level sketch. I have still been kind of fixated on trying to get at least a sketch of what the I want a map. I want a full map, a scaled down full map of the island. At, what was it? A third of scale, I think. Was the idea. Yeah. With landmarks. And what I would like to do is have a good kind of list of landmarks and where they're placed relative to each other, while still being scaled down, plus roads, main roads. Did I not? Why did I close you? Because I had the Krita one, yeah. And, nope, not the VPS. I had a road map. Where is it? Is this it? No. That's layout map. This... Here, I can base this. I can base the roads on this, but the other thing I've been trying to do and not succeeding at is get as high a high resolution map as possible. These are images from Google Earth Pro, which is like their separate little map. Are these? These are from 2005 also, because one thing that's cool is Google Earth has historical imagery. So here we see the natural bridge all crumbled, right? As it exists in the year 2004. But we have imagery from 2005. Oh, not great here. That's 2002. Here, this is from June 2005. This is like actual months before it collapsed, where it's still there. What's great is not only is it still here, but this also means is if we remove oh, not this. I want to remove all the place names. This means this also has the roads from 2005, because there's, you know, there's no hotels here. There's a few big roads that aren't there. The let's see, the drive-in is still a drive-in. This bridge is still this bridge instead of the new bridge. So I have a pretty... this is pretty detailed still for 2005, and that gives me the most accurate base because the game will be set in 2005. So what I wanted to do was stitch these maps together, these high resolution, so I could have a very high resolution version of the map that I could then put landmarks on and whatever, and kind of sketch out what the scaled down version would be. And I haven't been able to do that or I haven't had the time either, but every version of of a program that I could use to stitch together these maps didn't really work the way I wanted to. This is the highest resolution version I can get out of Google Earth Pro. It's only 8,000 by 5,000 thingies. 8,000 by 5,000 thingies. Like, if you look at the airport, this is 2005. And then this is 2024. You know. It's not the same. Shame about all the cloud cover. Although... oh, this is June. There we go. We've got other days. And we've got different zoom levels. Yeah, so there's two things I want to do before I get to actually opening Godot and trying to make a super basic 3D area plus first-person controller plus a vehicle that you can get in Android. I think that's, if I could get that done before the year is over, that would be magnificent. But I'm trying to get this sketch version of this, so that's what we're gonna do still. Is I'm gonna use this highest res version of the map that I have. Is this it? Maybe I can make another one. I think what we can do is we can take this, even though it's not, the north isn't pointing north. I just kind of want to go zoomed in and note down landmarks, you know, and God, I wish I could get it at this scale. It would be perfect. Just 20,000 by 20,000 pixels. Because there's, I don't know, several dozen, maybe hundreds of landmarks that I want to note. Zones, areas. I would want labels and shit. Like, here's the lighthouse, the golf course. I don't need to get every single beach. Then what I want is a full map of the entire island and a close-up map of the first zone, because this area is what will be made in like version 0.1 of the game, like first release, first public release or whatever would be this area. Hey Nora, you can do this. You've done it before. Hope you're well. I'm dilly-dallying. I am dilly-dallying. No, we don't do in general here.
Assurance. Today is the day.
You're taking it easy today, I'm glad. Oh, that's an oil tanker. Yeah, we're gonna need an oil tanker, huh? Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up Google Earth Pro. I'm gonna get this image without labels. This is not Google Earth Pro. This is Google Earth Pro. And we zoom out just a tiny little bit. Get as much detail as possible. And then we go back in time to another world. See, this sucks, but if I take a picture of it, it's not going to look like this, I believe. It's going to look as zoomed in as possible if I go maximum resolution. Yeah, this is okay. It's missing the very tippy top and the tippy bottom. So let's zoom out just a little bit. Where's the controls? Where are my controls? This is annoying. Okay, here we go. Get perfect north. I think like this we can do it, right? Just overwrite that one. Still missing a little bit somehow. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open this in Krita and mark everything in as much detail as I can. This is 100%. Yeah, and then we'll just go like landmark by landmark. Orders and labels, places. Not all of this is gonna be in the game in any capacity, but I just want, what I really want is a model to work off of, you know. Getting a USB cable that's stuck somewhere. Do I have room for my mug? My desk is far too small a desk for a person of my arm length and ability to gather junk. So we have Krita open. We don't need you right now. What we do need is you. And a new layer. And save as. Not a JPEG. What's your What's Credo's like default file format? Gra! You in here at all? Oh, here we go. Create a document. Where's my... I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break before I start. I suggest you do the same. Do I have... I do have pressure. Okay. Color. Yeah, I'll be right back. We're back. Okay, so this is the same date. No, not this one. This one. What do we want to keep from this? Basically, I think for this to work, It needs to be as, like, not quite as detailed, but need to be able to see this. Where is the lighthouse? Here. That's a perfect lighthouse. It's called California Lighthouse. Fun fact, the reason it's called the California Lighthouse is because, like, little to the north of here, there's a shipwreck of a ship called the California. That I suppose wouldn't have been a shipwreck if there had been a lighthouse there to begin with. Here's Arashi Beach. Arashi Beach. This whole area is a golf course. It's an abomination. What's it called? What's it called? Tierra del Sol. Tierra del Sol. But it does have, like, one interesting feature, which is these big water tanks. I was building a golf course in the desert, you know how it goes. This area is kind of a high-class area, just called North. Lots of very expensive houses here. This has a name. Forget what it's called. I think it's called Salinia. It's basically like not a salt flat. Some kind of hydrological feature. Then, where's Alta Vista? That's over here. Here's the other one. No idea what it's called. Does the other Google Earth have a name for it? Maybe we should go to Google Maps. That's not north, that's more mock. Hey, Fluff. Oh. You ready to explore more of Aruba with me, Fluff? What's Eraser? Eraser mode E. Mall. Trying to figure out what things are called, but whatever. Okay, so here is high-rise hotels. That's what this area is. I would like to hate metal with hammers, but I don't think my neighbors will appreciate it. You could tell them it's either the metal or you. Primary hotels it there. Big water tank is here. Hey, Seer. But I mind saying the little thing about it. Okay. I love doing an introduction for it every single time. I honestly do, because it helps me kind of reiterate what I'm trying to make. Are you familiar with the game My Summer Car? If you're not, My Summer Car is a kind of small-scale, open-world life/job simulator/survival game set in rural Finland. And it's very much like a project by someone who's lived that life. You're basically like, it's like you're like an 18-year-old kid. Your parents are away for the summer. It's just you in your little environment. There's like a forest, a small town, a lake, and your house, and you have like a car that you can put together. But to survive, you need to eat, you need to relieve yourself, you need to take care of stress, you need to make money. And so you're kind of put into this world with all these things to do and figure it out. All right? It's very punishing, but it can be very rewarding. Like putting the car together is an ordeal, because every single little part of it is just loose in your garage. And you have to pass inspection. It's very detailed. Also very clearly a one-man job, because it's a very ugly game, but there's a charm to it. And it has a lot of fun, like, typical Finnish, rural Finnish culture things. I want to make something similar set on Aruba, where I'm from. In particular, my kind of like job simulator aspect of it is there is this place called the Natural Bridge on Aruba. It looked like this. This isn't it. This is the other one. This is what it looks like now. It collapsed in 2005. I don't know if there's any pictures of it standing here on Google Earth or whatever. Older pictures of it? No, I don't know. It was very impressive when it was still standing. As you can see, it looks like this. This is a car, so it's quite a large thing. You could go down here to the beach area, but more importantly, this is like a Ainoya. Making me cry in the middle of trying to explain this game. It's a damn good cat. Sometimes I think I still hear him. It's okay, it's okay. It's there for a reason. It's very sad. Well, it's sad that that it happened. Anyway, back to the game. This is like a snack bar / souvenir shop that's been there for decades and decades. So my idea is your character runs this place in the year 2005, before collapse, and it's a life simulator in a similar way in that you have to drive to it every day. This is like a 2.5 kilometer drive. I'm gonna have the player house be somewhere here. It's gonna be very authentic. It's gonna feel like the real place. And the idea is you have a life simulator where you get to explore parts of Aruba, and I get to kind of share that place that means so much to me with the world. But also, there's like an element of it where you have to kind of make money with the tourism. but you have to kind of take care of the bridge too, and maybe prevent its collapse. Like if you let too many people walk on it or whatever, you know, it's not as if that was what caused it to collapse. People walking on it, and not like the wild sea. But you know, you kind of balance the tourism with making money, because that's something that politically is a place for a thing in Aruba. Is obviously their main source of income, their only real source of income, and the thing that makes it such a nice place to live and go is a lot of tourism money. But that also has an effect on the ecology, and as a place whose primary resource is itself, how do you manage that kind of stuff? And what I want to do is, I'm not going to make the entire island explorable, because this is larger than Skyrim by several times. But what I want is have several zoomed in areas that are basically built 1-to-1, and then have you be able to drive between them in little kind of like top-down sections, have a miniature version of the island that you can also explore. And have a kind of terrain version of the island that is, you know, makeable in a game engine, while at the same time evoking enough of the spots. So here, if you're standing, if you climb this hill, you know, you'd be able to see the landscape, and you'd be able to see some buildings and stuff that are accurate to the place. That's the idea. I have never been to the ostrich farm. I don't care for it. It was starting to be built right after I left, and it's one of those things that's like, what? Why are we doing this? Someone had a container full of ostriches. I don't know. There's also Utopia, but I don't know. That's just someone's house. So what I'm doing now is just trying to get a list of landmarks, essentially, that I can then make into a smaller thing. Can't you be one of those indie devs who works for like 20 years on a game because it's larger than Skyrim, but you're doing it anyway? The thing is, I don't think a 1-to-1 version would be fun. You'd be stuck in traffic most of the time. And doing it this way is going to take me 20 years anyway. I'm pretty sure. So there's a big water tank here, and then here's Alto Vista, which is the recreation of the first chapel on the island. Alto Vista. And here's the thing, just like with My Summer Car, one thing that I think My Summer Car does fantastically, better than most open world games anywhere, enjoy your sports, Noya, is it has a great sense of space, of place even. It feels like you're somewhere real, even with its very primitive character art and lighting and whatever. There's something real about it, and that's what I want to capture. And that's going to take a lot of work on my end, because that is, there's an artistry to that as well. This is a wetland called the Bubali. There are, like, here right now, there are hotels, and this, like, air thing, it's just horrible. Should never have happened. Bubali Plus. This tiny little spot right here is Adventure Golf, which is also gone. Adventure Golf. And one of the areas I want to make is a perfect 1-to-1 recreation. It's a mini golf course. It's a wonderful mini golf course. Let me see if we can get a zoom in of what it looked like back then. It's like on this fake like water thing. It's fantastic. It's a supermarket now. But I wanna recreate that 1-to-1. That could be a whole game on its own, but I'm gonna recreate that 1-to-1 as detailed and realistic as I can. Adventure Golf, that is horrible. Golf. This is the other golf course. This is a 9-hole golf course. I think it's DV Golf. And this is the low-rise hotels and Eagle Beach. Eagle Beach, which this beach here, this stretch, has been voted like #2 best beach in the world. Can confirm, it's beautiful. And low rise hotels. This is, what is this? What am I looking at there? This is buildings. What is APB? It's the aloe. Is that still there? That's still there. It's funny, that was there all along. I need to get a, I need to get the churches too, maybe. Here's the harbor. Cruise ships and cargo ships at this point. The cargo ships will be moved later on. Harbor. And this is like... so Nesta is what it was. It was Renaissance by that time, actually. Seaport. That's what they would call it. Seaport. Like my high school was here. Renaissance Island. Need to mark up all these islands too. Here's the airport. This is the dump. This is like a little industrial place called Barcadero. It's that's where the cargo ships come now. Barcadero. We need to go higher. This is Kanashito. Some beautiful cave paintings there. What's this one called? Cerrobiento, I think. Oh, it's flat. Okay. You can see where they've dredged next to it for ships. Yep. There's actually quite a lot of like this is part of the natural bay here, but this is all land reclamation, as is this entire area. And if you go here, this too. This is from like the refinery, which and Mrs. Bob just sent me an article that it's definitively shutting down its operations entirely, although it's been on life support for decades now. But this is also land reclamation, and this is funny. This is Baby Beach. Very famous beach because it's quite shallow. It's like a shallow bay. This was just dynamited out by the refinery people. So this was land at some point that they just hollowed out with dynamite. But we are going back to Kanashito, and this is Cerro, I think is what it's called. Yeah. A Friday so close to people's home seems not great. Well, that's where the workers lived. That's the funny thing. So most of the Caribbean has black populations, right? Aruba is majority not black, majority like closer to Venezuelan and Colombian. But the refinery, when it was super popular in like the 40s and 50s, they needed more laborers, so they brought in laborers from Haiti and the rest of the Caribbean. So like this area. This city here is called San Nicolas. Has a much more black population. Also here, O'Neill Caribbean Kitchen. I ate here with Mrs. Bob. Well, it doesn't look like this. It looks something like it looks different now in 2024. Amazing Caribbean food. Like the owner's like Jamaican and then mixes it with Aruban stuff. It's incredible. But also funny, Fluff. This area here is like it's called Cerro Colorado. I think it's named after this hill. This is where the executives of the refinery lived. So this was modeled kind of after an American suburb, not like a modern day suburb, but more like a 50s suburb. So all these houses are made like with different materials and have rotted away since then. But colloquially, it's known as Colony. But this is where the executives of the refinery would live, downwind from the refinery, of course. Although the wind comes from here, right? Almost 99% of the time. So the fumes would go that way, but on days where like the wind would be like different, yeah, it would be kind of smoggy here. Kind of typical, isn't it? But where were we? Cerro Viento. Cerro Viento, yes, that's what it's called. I remember. Cerro Viento, which means Windy Hill. Viento, and then here's the famous Hooiberg. Not much in the middle here. It's all just where people live. Can't think of any big landmarks that I would put in there. This is the power plant / water filtration plant called the WEP, which stands for Water- en Energiebedrijf, which is Dutch for Water and Power Company. This is Spanish Lagoon. And then that means this is, here is Balashi. I need to get like every water tank. Because there's several of them. Water tank. Here's Mangolhalto. Great snorkeling place. Might put it in the game
Creation.
as a snorkeling place.
Creation. 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 Creation.
Oh, do I have all the islands? No.
Creation.
This is Palm Island.
Creation.
Wait, hold up.
Creation. 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 Creation.
Palm Island would be here. Duh. Palm Island and Isla de Oro. It's like, where'd that be? Right there. This is mangroves? I don't know what this is called. Just mangroves. Obviously, I'm not gonna, it's gonna be weird because, like, it's a very dense place to live. The density is actually similar to the Netherlands. But I'm not gonna have you go to any of those dense places because all the houses are unique. That would be too much for me to make in any kind of detail that I would feel appropriate. So I'm gonna let you pass through them in less detail. And have you kind of walk around in the more rural places, even though rural Aruba is like rural Netherlands. It doesn't really exist. Isla de Oro, which means Gold Island, is like a nightclub in the shape of a boat built on an island. It's a little weird. We got more reefs. Yeah, and a refinery. I'll definitely want some boats on it. Again, during World War II, this was the largest oil refinery in the world. And I think I have like a book on its history, which isn't particularly well written, but it is has a lot of good facts in it. It apparently supplied like 15% of the fuel for the Allies' navy on its own. It's pretty crazy. Refinery. What I think they should do is spend a couple of $1 billion cleaning this all up, and then there's some good room for more hotels. Because they're out of room on this side of the island. And should be no surprise, this side of the island, which has the predominantly black population, is also a little more impoverished. So they could use a big boost to their economy, I think. The local, super local economy. Boats. And there's still some reef islands here. And this is Colony. Colony. This is Baby Beach. This is Sierra Colorado. There used to be there's like remnants of cannon emplacements here during World War II. There's also mine shafts down here. They would collect guano for its phosphor? Sulfur? I don't know. Something. Bat guano, I guess. 0. Colorado. And then here... Not this. This is the prison? Yeah. This is the drag strip? Yep, there's a drag racing strip. Called Palomarga. I don't know, there might be drag racing in the game, you know, I don't know. There is like, there was like a, I think this is like a golf course also. Yeah. It's like a sand golf course. And then there's a tiny little airstrip here also that I think is only used for model airplanes now. Here's the other airstrip. These are quarries, big holes in the ground, very ugly. Where is... Yamanote Ariko? Ariko. This is Yamanote, isn't it? Trying to get the right location. Here. I think this is... This general area is Punukwa. What other big landmarks are there? I mean, obviously, Natural Bridge area is here. And B, just like me. This is, shit, what's it called? Andikuri. Very cool rugged beach. But it's like in a bit of a cove, so you can actually swim here between two cliff sides. It's really cool. And then there is oh shit, what's it called? Bushiribana. I don't need to go too detailed now here. Do I have everything? Let me take a look. Spooky Sanctuary. I guess I want to have Yamanota and Arikok marked. These are the two biggest hills. I have somewhere. I have height maps, but not in very high resolution. But not in a way that is useful as to throw into a Blender or something and make a practical height map. But it's a good reference. Here too, I have this. This is like shaded. I was hoping to get better quality, but that doesn't seem to exist. Don't know what this is. What is that? Where is a crest like that? I mean, again, this is one place where scaling it down is going to help, because the highest point on the island, which is like here, is 188 meters above sea level. So that's not very much. The second highest point is right there, and then the third highest point is this hill in the middle. But by scaling it down, I'm going to make it look... Because I'm going to scale it... I should write that down. Scale it down. Scale it down like width and height, but... No, not width and height. Width and length. But keep height 1:1. Maybe. Yamanota. Well, you know, we should just mark Arikok in general. That's this whole area here. The national park. Because I don't imagine I'm going to recreate all these hills perfectly. But I want to get the proper impression of them. I don't quite know how to do that. You know, I'm gonna, you know, what is a couple of dozen hill points, I'm gonna narrow down to like 5. Especially if they're prominent or interesting in some way. And I think Arikok would be somewhere here. Arikok would be right next to Kunoku. And quite frankly, for some of the detailed stuff, because this is a long-term project, I've already done a little bit of this, but I will have to just go there and take pictures and record footage to make it, you know, lifelike and real and whatever. Where is everything? No, don't start. Guadalquivir. Please don't start DaVinci Resolve. What characters you interact with? I'm slowly kind of coming up with how to do that. I kind of want... I had thought at first that the character you play as was going to be completely in charge of the thirst aid station, as it's called in real life. But then I thought that makes it a little too much like those job simulators where you're running a supermarket or a gas station or whatever, in the sense that you always have to be there at work and you don't really get any room to explore. So I thought maybe someone else is in charge, but you're just working there, like your aunt is in charge or something. And you're just working there, and you can choose to work there to make cash, or you can just let it be and then you can help upgrade it or whatever. So your aunt who runs the place is someone. There's going to be lots of tourists. I don't know quite how to do that yet. Are they going to be 3D? Are they going to be like Doom sprites? You know, there's a technical and practical component to it of how I'm going to make that work, how they're going to be animated, what they're going to look like, what the level of interaction is. I kind of like how it is in My Summer Car, in the sense that people kind of just react to what you do kind of organically, but there are no dialogue trees or something like that. So I don't know yet, is the answer. Fontaine is here. Right, that's the plantation too. Fontaine is a cave with a lot of beautiful cave drawings. Quadripiri is here. Quadripiri, yes. Windmill Park didn't exist yet. Motocross track, never seen that. Anything else? Dos Playa. Oops. This is Dos Playa. Dos Playa means two beaches. Could have seen that coming. Is that Dos Playa? No, that's not Dos Playa. This is Dos Playa. So what I've been noticing that I've been doing is I want the original zone to be kind of this area, right? Although I'm shrinking it down and adding some stuff. But there's like some cool stuff over here too that I want to add. Here, this is it. So instead of those making those separate zones, I might just expand them. Water tanks. Got this one here by Francepas. I don't know where any of the other ones are. I don't know if I need to show any of those. Rock formations. Okay, the Aya rock formations are here. Right, but I'm going to move them closer. But we might as well, like, just mark them. Aya rock formation. It's just this ridiculously impressive collection of boulders. But then there's another one, another rock formation thing. That would be here somewhere. Kasibari. Pirapat Kasibari rock formations. Are we north? No. These fucking clouds. So it's really literally right to the north of the Hooiberg. This is it, I think. Or this? Which one is it?
Killer. The mind.
Neither of those. This is it. I think. Kasibari. Rock. Formations. Any other touristy spots? F. What's J? Gold mine. Gold smelter ruins. I think we've got it. But this is just buildings. Hey, flashback. Pod. Cast. I never know how to say hi to people in chat. BOBSTREAM is one word though. Single word. Just like video game. This is a go-kart track. Okay, we got big water tank. We got another water tank. Let me see if I can find a map. Aruba water tanks. 7 water storage tanks. Oh no, it's on premises, it says. There's one in Urataka. Really? Urataka. Search. Show me Urataka. There it is. That's to the right of that little. Here it is. Urataka water tank. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I intend to make a shrunken down version of Aruba to make a game in, and to do that I am marking places of interest, I guess we could call them, so that I can make a scaled down map that still has recognizable places. Cerro Preto. No, that's not Cerro Preto. Cerro Preto is there. Do you have them? Warawara is an interesting place name. Warawara is a bird, I think. Yeah, it's a bird of prey. Very cool looking bird. a lot of these, so like a lot of these place names are still from like the old Kaikitio language, so the native language, at least to whatever extent. Probably not from the people who originally lived there who got deported when the Spanish arrived, but the people who came from the mainland to repopulate it at some point after, who spoke the same language but weren't the original inhabitants. You know, they were related. But a lot of it has these kind of repetition thingies in it. Yeah, I have actually. Hold on. I have this book. You can read it in Dutch, Fluff. Aruba en een keuze uit haar toponiemen. Toponyms, right? The origin of place names. So, I don't. If there was a place called Wara Wara, right? Let me see if I can find it in here. Wara Wara. Blah 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 blah. He makes a play at trying to figure out what they mean, but I don't think his sources are very well cited. But it is a bird. Apparently, originally from Guaraguao, the same bird. It just means bird of prey, I think. Yeah. So. Mondi here. Yaburibari. Yaburibari is one of my favorite place names. It sounds so funny. Yaburibari. Yaburibari is here. There's also a tank there, yes. Close to Wariwuri. Okay. Here it is. This is it. Added anything to your stack of games and consoles recently? I don't have a lot going on. I got one NES game, which I think is Double Dribble. These two aren't games, but they're game console related. It's a fish called Wanda for the Philips CDI. It just seemed really stupid to own, and it was €3. And then also, this is CDI, but also not. The Never-Ending Story on video CD. I just wanted to have one of each. But you know, on 2 discs. It's hilarious. And then this one was actually kind of nice. Air Combat, which is the first Ace Combat game for the PlayStation. Which is pretty cool. Very, very thick PAL multi-language manual. And it's the Platinum release. But what I find interesting is I don't have any of these PlayStation boxes that have this kind of box. I guess this is an early PAL PlayStation, because the other ones have like PlayStation printed on here, I think, and this is a little thicker. I was worried at first that it was not the original box, but I believe it is. That is all I have added. It's been very slow because I've been extremely broker than normal. Is it this or this? Hold on 1 second. It's this one. There's Zero Crystal. Okay. But this is Zero Crystal. And then here's another water tank. Water. Oh, wait. I'm on camera. Vertaka. I think that'll do. I just don't know where Sierra Preto would be. Here's a Savanita one. There we go. Here's a Savanita water tank. Okay. And that is right above. There. This is it. You're not going to be able to see this from most of the island because basically, like, until I get like basically this part of the island here, this whole section is flat essentially. And then there's a little bit of a hill ridge on the north coast, and then this is the hilly area. So if you're anywhere here, for the most part, you're not going to see past here. Except if you're standing on the Hooiberg, maybe, you can see the refinery and stuff. But a lot of this is going to be blocked off. But, you know, I kind of want to have all of these written down and somewhere so that I can kind of refer to them. I'm going to avoid the quarries. I just think the island is already stained enough. It doesn't need to have an additional... This is... not the Playa. Daimari. Right. Mary. Fontaine, Guadalquivir. Uliba. That's the Tunnel of Love. What's this? Gordo's Beach. There's a structure here. Not this. Mele. Very. Training. Round. Wondering if it's still there. I can't see through this cloud cover. Red Anchor, right. Was that there? Red Anchor Aruba. What year was this put here? Sometime between 1980 and 1985, three gentlemen having a conversation with the Anchor. The time was being stored at the Harrington Harbor was suggested as an option. Charlie then contacted the president of Lago for permission to acquire the Anchor. He was granted permission. The Anchor was then relocated to its present location and dedicated to all seamen on the occasion of closing the Lago Oil Refinery in 1985. Okay. April 2005, the Anchor Monument was rededicated. Okay, so the Red Anchor exists. World and location notes. Red anchor, as it is now, was there in 5 with concrete base. So I should add that to here. Red anchor. Right. This little building isn't there anymore. I remember driving past it. It looked like a little haunted house. Yeah, it was demolished at some point after 2009. Where am I looking? Okay, you got the wavy part. Yeah. I always call it a witch house. It's just some kind of maintenance shed or something. Some kind of old remnant from the refinery or whatever. But I always found it fascinating. And then this is the weird highway on-ramp. Right north of it. Let's remove the airstrip so we can just have a little bit more room. Air strip. And this is on ramp, I'll call it. This is also very interesting for me because, right, I had like a period of 15 years where I didn't go back to the island. So when I returned, things were very different. Some things were exactly the same, some things were very different, but I also returned as an adult. And I definitely noticed that there's like a... When you return to a place that you've been to as a kid, you return to it as an adult, you look at it with different eyes. And you start identifying things that you didn't really understand what they were before. Which I find a very interesting process. So this is like the... this area. Liba? No. No idea what that is. That's a ranch of some kind. Utuku. Hold on. Arikok. Hidden house. It's weird to say that, huh? Weird to put that on a map. Yamanota. think we've run out of things. I thought there'd be more. But I didn't really know what I would mark and what I wouldn't. Like, I'm not gonna mark all the churches. And in any case, like, I can fill in the gaps, you know? I can fill in the gaps with details. The next thing I would want to try and do is roads. And I think for that, what I can do is if I can import this one, add it as a layer, and then kind of overlay it. There's an easier way to do this. There is a north arrow on this thing. How do we keep scale? Shift. Pretty close. Doesn't need to be perfect, right? Not exactly the same projection either. Okay. Oh my god, the sketch! The sketch is not on its own layer. That's annoying. That's okay, I can do a more detailed version of it anyway. Oh, because I made a copy! Not a new layer. Alright. Roads. I'm gonna take a small break to go to the little Bob's room. Be right back. There we are again. Right. Roads. Including a few roundabouts. I like this basic road layout. I want to keep it. But I have to adjust it a little more. I think what we could potentially do is adjust as we go along, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. What color do we pick? Green? Bright green for roads. Maybe a little wider. Hey, Red.
Assurance. Today is the day.
It's true. How did you know that? Hope you're well. I am well enough. I'm just drawing maps as you do. I know these roads, it's so weird. So weird to be so familiar with a place that you don't even live in. If you wanted to escape for so long. And now, you know, I don't want to live there. But I kind of wish I had a portal that would let me go to and fro without worry. That would be nice. Because a 11-hour flight is not enjoyable. These are just potentially drivable roads. For the Racing Lagoon style, I can see that the road is there, but that's fine. This is more schematic than anything. Wait, where is the where's the drive-in? Here it is. Drive-in. Is the Aruba game going to be 3D? It's... Red, you're familiar with My Summer Car, aren't you? That's what it's going to be. Hopefully looking a little bit better? But who knows? It's going to be first person. I don't know if it's going to be stylized in any way. Or, is my winter car actually coming soon? Has there actually been updates? You know, I might do something cool. It depends on, like, once I get to, like, actually do making stuff in 3D beyond just the sketch prototype phase. There's going to be a bit more of a, you know, am I going to do something stylized? Is it going to be like looking like a PlayStation 2 game? Do I have the capacity to do that? Or do I just go with like whatever assets I can buy and integrate and make them look okay and whatever? But there's something admirable about the way My Summer Car looks like total shit, you know? I remember playing it way early. Many years ago, way before it kind of got big on Twitch. And thinking like, oh, you know, it's early access, so all these ugly models of characters could be replaced. And then realizing, like, do they want to be replaced? You know, it wouldn't have the same, it would not have the same charm if all those ugly graphics were replaced. So I don't know yet what it's going to look like. But it will be in entirely 3 dimensions. Right, Dos Playa is where it ends. Well, I can do off-roading, it's fine. Hey Niall! Long time no see. Hope you are doing well. There you go, see? Great minds. Yeah, I don't know. What if this I'm going to keep? You are well. That's great to hear. Former airfield. What does that mean? Aruba, the Faust. I hate how much shit is on interesting. How much shit is on Facebook? I didn't know that it was a former airfield. No remnant of that. Yeah, so I don't know how much you know about this project, Niall. But I'm basically trying to make a scaled-down version of the entirety of Aruba. So I'm using like a variety of maps to make a scaled-down version. Yeah, that's what I said. Darker green? No, teal. Like side roads. I remember you streaming a little game called Northern Journey. This is more like a My Summer Car, a job slash life simulator slash survival game, kind of. That's the idea here. Oh, here's some green that I forgot. I know of 0 games set in Aruba. Like, I've had a few ideas for a while. I had something that was a bit more of a kind of top-down historical thing where you went through the ages and there were like scenes, and I never knew how to make it work gameplay-wise. And I had another one. Hey, Peak Pilot. I had another one that was more exploring the caves and the underground. That might become a subset of this, actually. But this is like my grand project, a detailed recreation of certain sections, one-to-one, along with a little bit of top-down exploration of the island. And it's going to be hugely complex, way beyond my skill set. It's going to take me many years, but like, I've had a lot of tragedy this year. And when that happens in someone's life, you kind of go like, why not just go for it? Why not just do the thing? So that's where I am with that right now. I'm just gonna do the thing. Hey, Adrian. Yeah, yours still counts as a submission. I hope you don't mind. I just thought it was really good. If afterwards you want to see me talk a little bit about all of the submissions, I did so at the start of this stream. The first 45 minutes or so was me just doing that. Thank you, Adrian. Niall, are you aware of the forums at the _.xyz? I think you've seen some of it on Blue Sky, right? That's where I've been. We started. I think it was Adrian's idea. Or at least a request. We're doing bi-monthly jams, not just limited to games, but to any kind of art things, and it's been pretty fun so far. Man, look. If I had grown up on Saba instead, you know how easy this would be? Okay, Saba is another one of those Dutch islands that's still technically Dutch, right? Where is it? Every other month. Every other month. This is Saba. Next one will be in January. That's the idea. This is Saba. It's tiny. It is ridiculously tiny. It is known for having a horrifically difficult airport to land on. That is like featured in the latest Microsoft Flight Simulator. But Saba is an island that you could absolutely make one-to-one scale, I think. The capital city is called The Bottom. It's this big. But yeah, I've never been. It's also part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. I've never been. The other one is St. Eustatius, also very small. Its capital has the same name as Aruba's capital, Oranjestad. Coincidence, I'm sure. But yeah, Aruba is just gigantic by comparison. But what's funny is Aruba is like half the size of Curacao. And quite a bit smaller than Bonaire, too. But Bonaire has, like, 1/5 of the population, I think. And Curacao only has 50% higher population. Aruba's the one. I think we've made some good progress. I think what I need to do now, next steps, is I need to kind of list these places and maybe draw it in a sketch form that is more readable. Because this isn't particularly readable. But I kind of know, and then I can zoom in on areas and I can kind of go like, okay, look. Here, for instance, the... hold on, we need to go back to 2005. This is the high-rise hotels. There are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. You know, I can bring that down to 4 or 5. Get maybe some nice pictures of those buildings, and then have representations of them. And then certain areas get scaled down more than other areas, like this wetland is gonna stay about the same size even if the island gets scaled down a lot more, you know? The roads are gonna be thicker, like... Again, what is here... I think what I'll do is mostly keep the same silhouette, but just size up the buildings and roads. I think that's the way to go. Airport would stay about the same size. Harbor would be a little bigger. You know? I think that's the idea. But look, this map Carta has every fucking house. I'm not gonna be able to make that in 3D. It does have all the routes though. Look how big the ostrich farm is. I am not including the ostrich farm. The ostrich farm is an abomination. Well, what I'm gonna do actually is, so this area here, this road, I intend to make 1-to-1 in full detail, as much as possible. So like, every one of these little cuts into the land, the exact position of the roads, down to the rocks if I can. But then when it comes to this area, I have already kind of sketched out an amalgamation of locations that I'm gonna put there instead. I'm gonna put a water tank there and a radio tower, and shrink some stuff there. So make it kind of a little town, a little area. I have a shop there, a gas station, that kind of stuff. It's not that far off. Like the rock formations are over here. And I'm just gonna shove them to like over here. And there's no water tank or... Oh, the water tank... I might skip the water tank, actually. And just have it be a radio tower. I don't know, I'm not sure. But yeah, there's a lot to consider. But what did I say? Add to the world. Keep island silhouette the same. Silhouette outline map. Basically the same, but scale up roads and buildings. Godot, Niall. I think to keep in... I just don't trust Unity or Unreal. Unreal has this cool thing, which is... Unreal... Ugh! Come on, YouTube. Unreal coastline. There's this plugin for Unreal with incredibly beautiful water that is realistic, and like I want a way to have some kind of coastline, and that is something that I'm still figuring out. But maybe I'll have to figure it out for myself. This probably wouldn't run on most computers anyway. But Godot does have this Godot Ocean Waves, which I played around with a bit, which does look good. And it's exactly what I want it to look like, because the water here on this side of the island is quite rough. This is all very rough terrain. That's the water that carved the natural bridge in the first place, right? And then made it collapse. But I'm a little confused about how to transition the water to the beach. I don't know how to do any of that. I'll need to use tricks and whatever, but that's one of the things that I'm trying to figure out. But other than that, I'm happy to use Godot. I've already found a bunch of plugins and stuff that will help me with regards to like open world type things, to make sure all the assets stream in nicely and cull where they need to, and terrain stuff. Because again, this area, this green line, is 2 to 2.5 kilometers long, which is half, I think half the width of the entirety of the Skyrim map. Road plugin, maybe. They haven't been great, and I don't quite know how to do that, because there's a lot of little detail that I want to get right. Like here, you can see it's asphalt. Then it transitions into dirt. And then there's an interesting thing here, where everyone takes this road, because here is an old patch of asphalt that is like worn. So I want to have these transitions here. You can see the transition into different colors of dirt. I don't quite know how to do that. But part of the idea of like, fuck it, let's go for it, is let's learn. Because if there's one thing I have realized, especially with the YouTube kind of being quite successful, being close to 5,000 subscribers now, is when I set my mind to something, I can be pretty good at it. So I'm gonna set my mind to it. I'm just gonna take a couple of hours every week, you know, and the more time I can put into it, whatever. But the goal now, this looks like a drug dealer's palace. I'm just gonna say that. The goal now is to, before the end of the year, hopefully, maybe, have a basic prototype of a simple 3D area, a first-person controller, a vehicle, and you'll be able to get in and out of the vehicle. And the vehicle could literally just be a square with wheels. It's more about getting the feeling right and stuff. That's the idea. But it's quite ambitious, but it's also, you know, a dream. And I have basically, the way you should see it is this: is the majority of the game you'll be spending in this area, in first person, you know, taking care of your job, your life, and whatever, shopping, eating, doing whatever needs to be done. But then there will be different locations you can go to, like this hill, you can drive to it. And so the idea is, you kind of take a road, and from first person, the game then zooms out into kind of this overhead mode, and you drive a little car on the road, and then you can go to certain places, and then in that place it zooms in again into first person view, and then you can explore those areas. Areas such as this hill that you can climb, that you'll have a nice lookout over the entire island. Or here, the mini golf course that I want to recreate a full 1-to-1 every single hole, 18 mini golf holes. This doesn't exist anymore. This is a supermarket now. You know, so there's these other places you can drive to do activities for whatever reason. Because I don't want to. What I don't want to do is shrink down the entire island so small that it's unrealistic. I think I want to communicate the actual scale of the island, which is it's small. Yes. You know, it'll take you 20 minutes to half an hour to drive from this end all the way to this end, depending on traffic. But it's also dense, and there's a lot to see. And I can't reasonably make it 1-to-1, but I'm trying to find a middle ground where instead of making it 1-to-1, I just show you little slices of the island in beautiful detail. What zones do I have even, actually? What did I have? Hooiberg zone, North Coast Zone, West Frenchman's Pass. Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, I'm figuring it out. I have so many notes. I've semi-ordered them recently in like separate tabs, but I still need to really sort them out. So I think on the to-do, figure out water, blah blah blah. I think what I want to do next is sketch out this area in detail, because I have this, a basic sketch of it, but I want to get it in higher detail and lay down every single house and every single road. I think that's what I want to do next. So let's write that down. Lay down a natural bridge area in 1-to-1 detail as much as possible. Because where are we now? On the 2nd. That'll be the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th are... Yeah, then I can work on the... actually work on it in Godot. Actually, can I get a super high-res version of this right here, like this? In 2005. What does that look like? Yeah, this is pretty good. Oh, I need no labels though. I need to turn off the labels. Oh wait, this is 2006. There we go. Not that it... Well, it matters because the bridge still exists. Yeah. Oh, not in Google Maps. Yeah, the desktop, I have it because... I don't know if you remember in my... I think it's... in the Desperate Housewives video, I do like a zoom in to like the street set, and I used Google Earth Pro for that. I learned later that Google has a web-based kind of like Google Earth animation suite. I forget what that's called right now. This is pretty good. This road exactly, these roads kind of exactly. Wait, where's the ruins? That's strange. Is this it? Very hard to tell. Oh, it's here. Oh, so I'm... yeah. It's over here. So I need to zoom out a bit, actually. This is it, yeah. Ah, it's the wrong year. Seven, 2005. Yeah, that's it. So this building is not going to be one-to-one. It's going to be much smaller because I don't know why it's so huge. I think there might be houses attached. Maybe people live there. I just want to get the right scale and the roads. There's the sign. I have pictures and video footage of this too. This is going to be all the same. This is going to be all the same. This is a bit of a dip, I think. And this I'm going to simplify quite a bit. And then there's the ruins. And the map stops there. And then all of this is going to be changed. Or at least simplified quite a bit. I want to figure it out, because I think how I have it here is not going to be exactly it. It's not going to be a water tank. It is going to be a radio tower. Or it might be on the other side. And this hillside... yeah. These hills are going to have to be simplified massively. But I think what I'll do too is I'll... you know, these maps views are great for road layouts. But even when they have depth, you know, not much to it. There's a hill, and that's it. So I'd have to put another hill here somewhere. I think I'd put a smaller hill here and put a radio tower on that. And this would only be a handful of houses. None of this. The ostrich farm and the ranch wouldn't be there. These streets wouldn't be here. It would still be very much like this. Yeah, right. This is water. Or maybe I'd replace the ostrich farm with a hill, you know, I don't know. And here's the ruins. These are ruins too, but I don't know of what. Do I have more recent higher res versions? Yeah, I never know what those are. I'm gonna have to play around a lot with what's it called? The terrain editor. I think that's it for today. We've reached the 10 o'clock time, aka bedtime for Bob. Good night. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'll be back next week with I think more of this shit. Exactly what I was doing right now, but more of that. I might be doing some work on it in between also. Please remember that today is the day that fear is the mind killer, that I love you as you should love yourself. Yeah, I got nothing else to add. Thanks. If you want to join the jam still, even though it's technically over, I'm not gonna stop you. You know, that thread's still open. Do what you wish. Thank you, and bye. I missed it. I missed the button.
Thank you for enjoying the Bob stream. I love you all.